This is a Dr. Hurd Manzanita. Oh, there's the peacock. This is an Arctostaphylos Dr. Hurd, a Manzanita. It's upright, like a small tree, large upright shrub, very handsome, supposed to tolerate garden situations. Even so, I never had a dripper on it for my irrigation. I watered it once or twice a summer, and it's been doing beautifully until 6-8 months ago, and it started to decline, and now it looks completely dead. I'm so disappointed because look at that, how brown it is. By now it would have had flowers and berries and new leaves, but it's just brown and crispy. I suspect it's gophers. I've been thinking about what to put there because I want something kind of tall, about 6 feet high, because it provides privacy from the front to the front door there in my yard. I have, what else do I have here? I have some black sage, low growing. It's creeping down the slope, the little slope I have here, doing really well. Although there are some branches that look a little stressed, and maybe a gopher might be under there gnawing away, but it looks generally pretty good. Most of the branches. There's just some over there that has some brown on it. Here's another view of the Arctostaphylos Dr. Hurd. Just look at that beautiful wood. It's so pretty. I just hate to take it out, but yeah, it makes me so sad. Anyway, and here's this lovely Erigeron, Wayne Roderick. I love it. I saw some of these growing wild up by Gambelia on the coast. It was so nice to see something I have in my yard that actually grows wild. You plant natives in the fall, ideally, but if I go away on vacation, I won't have time to plant it in the fall, and it'll need a little extra care. So the Carpenteria, if I can find one, it's so cool here on the coast that it's probably going to be fine. And I will put a dripper on it, on the irrigation line. Now that I've scraped away the mulch, the wood chip mulch, and looking at the base of this Manzanita, I see a split. And I don't know what caused the split. I think it may have split since it died. That's most likely. Well, today's the day. I'm going to plant my Carpenteria Californica and replace my dead Manzanita. So here's what the plant looks like a couple months later since I bought it from the nursery. And you might recall that I was a little concerned about some of the bad looking leaves, but I picked most of them off. Just picked these last two off. You know, they had some brown spots on the leaves, but all this new growth, it's looking really healthy. So I'm confident that it's going to get a good start. And let's plant it. I got Glenn today as helping me to dig this out, dig out the old Manzanita and see what's going on in the roots. Oh gosh, I don't see a gopher basket. It couldn't have completely disintegrated in 5 years. So that was a mistake, not using a gopher basket. Also, I suspect the weed barrier cloth that we installed a couple years ago. When the Manzanita started to look bad, I cut away the weed cloth from the trunk by about 4 feet in diameter. The decline in health seemed to coincide with when the weed cloth was put in. Now, I read advice online that native plants should not have weed cloth over their roots. Well, big lesson learned. Gardening is a process. I gave up trying to be a perfect gardener long ago. Threw some planting mix in, and I'd probably take some more of that. I'm going to mix this together with the native soil. Some people recommend not putting any amendment like planting mix with this, but this is pure sand, and Carpenterias probably aren't used to pure sand. So I have had quite a bit of luck putting any plant I planting with some planting mix. Now that I've got the native soil and the planter mix pretty much mixed really well, now I'm going to make a space for the plant, and it's definitely ready to get out of the pot. Look at all those roots. I am pretty ruthless. I start to break it up. I'll actually do a little cut. Sometimes I have a sort of a serrated knife that I do this with, but on 3 different sides to get those roots out of the circular habit, and so they can go out into the soil rather than circulating around and around. Breaking up the bottom, and just a little bit off the shoulder here. And I'm going to put it into, this happens to be a used gopher basket, and it's plenty big. So now that we have the gopher basket in place and the root ball of the plant situated to the height I think it's supposed to be, I'm going to start just filling in and make sure the soil is up against that root ball inside the gopher basket. I love digging around the soil with my hands. I just love the feel of it. I'm just like molding the soil levels. This is just my favorite part. It just feels so good. Soil's cool. Saying goodbye to the roots down in the dark. Making sure that the soil is nice and firm around the root ball. There's no air holes. Now I'm going to put the wood chip mulch back, keep the moisture in, and I think I'm going to need some more nice fresh mulch. So why don't I just go get some more wood chips? Nice fresh wood chips. Oh, it looks so good there. Next, I'll be planting an Island Snapdragon next to the Carpenteria, close enough so that it can climb up into the Carpenteria plant, just like in nature. The Island Snapdragon is a native of the Channel Islands off the coast of Southern California. The interesting thing about sandy soils is that the water moves straight down rather than absorb outwards. And you can see by this chart that the different water patterns. And I like to water deeply and all around so that the roots will reach far and deep to become more drought tolerant. I put a single dripper on the irrigation line so it will get watered at least the first year regularly. I may plug up this dripper after the first year. It depends on how much of a drought we have, what kind of winter we have. And I will give it some extra supplemental water the first month to make sure this soil is watered down deep. Well, there you have it. Carpenteria Californica planted next to Erigeron, Wayne Roderick, blooming like a daisy, seaside daisy, and a black sage.